Hello and welcome to the Ilene Silverman Show. I'm your host Ilene, and on this week's program, our guests discuss Educational Access Institute, a nonprofit organization dedicated to inspiring underserved youth through leadership and educational opportunities. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us for our program. I'm very pleased to introduce my guest, Dr. Diane Archer-Beggs, President, CEO, Educational Access Institute. And Diane, it is wonderful to have you here. I'm honored you're our guest.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here also myself.
Well, thank you very much. It is a privilege because you have done and are doing something so wonderful through Educational Access Institute. And so help us understand what is EAI and how did this all transpire in your life about 5 years ago? Kind of start on the backstory so we understand.
Okay. So 5 years ago, I was actually working at the University of Florida in a program called the University of Florida Alliance. And the purpose of that program was to go into urban high schools and to create college-going culture among the students and the families that lived in those areas. And after the program got restructured, after the budget cuts of 2012, I think in my mind, I felt that there was this void that was left that I felt I wanted to fill in some way or the other.
Right.
So I enjoyed the work I was doing, and I kind of liked the whole idea of being able to empower kids to see themselves beyond their circumstances and their families, and to give them hope that their dreams could actually become reality.
Right.
So I decided to form this nonprofit organization with no idea about how I was going to do it, how I was going to fund it, anything like that.
Jumped in.
I just jumped in.
You have your the passion is there. I can
the
see.
passion was there. That was it. And so we got started in 2013 with a goal of going back into these communities and beyond, and also here in Gainesville, and talking to students about what they could be doing as early as middle school to empower themselves to get into the college of their dream. And we did that for maybe about 2 or 3 years. That was what we did. We had workshops at the library. I remember the first workshop we had, no one showed up. And I started thinking,
why did I do this?
Yeah, this is not going to happen. The next workshop, 2 people showed up, and then it started happening. And what we tried to do was, if 2 students showed up, we realized that, here are 2 students who needed our help.
That's right.
So
whose lives you could change.
That's exactly right. So we shared the information that we had, left my business card, and just kept going at it and plugging at it. And the goal of EAI basically is to empower students to become leaders in their community.
Okay.
And it's really based on my belief that if students are empowered with the leadership skills that they need to become leaders of the future, that college will become inevitable.
So instead of just focusing on college, you will develop their leadership potential.
That's exactly right. And so we do that a lot through workshops, or sometimes just working with students one-on-one, with just conversations, having them. We do have our YLEAD program, and we're getting ready to recruit another batch of students to come on in and talk to them about the leadership skills that I know help me in my work.
When you look, yes.
Yeah, time management, getting up and being willing to stand on a stage, even if you're scared.
Yes, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Yes. And just the idea that you yourself and those with you can empower these students to look beyond, as you said, their circumstances, whether low income, underserved communities. You're reaching out to them.
Just reaching out to them in any way that we can. And this journey really started off with us thinking, okay, if I go out and I talk about college access and success, if I talk about the subjects that students needed to take in middle school and especially high school, that would be enough.
Right.
But then I had a really great opportunity to work with the Panhandle Educational Consortium, and they hired me to come on in and do leadership workshops. And while I was doing that, I said to myself, wow, this might be the best way to go. So shared it with my board, and we decided to switch our focus from college access and success to leadership development. And we've been there since then.
And you're still continuing.
We're still growing.
You're still going on.
Yes,
I know. You have actually, I can see a whole year's worth of different projects in the flow. And you have some very important partners that make all of this possible.
We would not be able to do half of the work that we do without the partnership of two of our most important partners. One being the University of Florida Office of Admissions. They have been one of our biggest supporters and sponsors and just partners for the past 3 years. I have this, as you're working on your program, you're thinking, how can I make it different? How can I reach a larger target audience? So I started thinking maybe we should have a symposium. And I had no idea how to do it.
No, wait. We're gonna take a quick break as we have lots more to cover. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're back talking about Educational Access Institute, and I'm pleased to introduce Christina Scott, UF Office of Admissions, Assistant Director, Outreach and Recruitment. And Christina, it's wonderful to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, certainly, because I can see how very important your entrance into the whole EAI development has been. So talk about that, Diane, and how this has been moving it forward.
Okay, so first, it has been one of those blessings that EAI has had. One of the things that we wanted to do after we started doing all this, working with students one-on-one, doing workshops out, we wanted to have a symposium where we could pull students together at the University of Florida campus. And I started thinking, how do I do this? Because it's a humongous.
Oh, this is huge.
Right,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I started thinking, and I said, okay, I'm going to reach out to the Office of Admissions, and I thought they're probably going to say no, but I'm still going to ask. So I called Ms. Christine and I said, hey, I have this really great idea that I want to share with you, and I shared it with you, and she said, okay, and
she said we could make it happen.
Yes, from approval from my director. We were able to make it happen, and we've done it for like the last 4 years that we've been collaborating together, just giving out the access and preparing students to get ready to apply to UF and hopefully be admitted.
I mean, just getting into UF these days is quite a huge achievement.
It is.
So this is a huge task. Talk a little about the symposium, what it's like.
So in the symposium, what we do is we usually center on topics that are leadership, that enhance students' leadership development skills, right? But also we try to make sure that we're talking to them about that whole college piece. What are some of the things that you needed to do? And this is where the Office of Admissions comes in, and they come in and they do a phenomenal job. They're sharing the information, and the students get an opportunity to talk one-on-one with someone out of the Office of Admissions about what it is that they are looking for when they're looking at these admissions. So the students leave there with this rich knowledge about, hey, I can go back and here's what I learned.
Right.
I learned that I probably need to really buckle down on writing those essays really well.
And these are students who might be the first to have the opportunity in their families, first to attend college, even to think that it's an opportunity for them at all. So,
yes, correct. Yes. We definitely want them to get this information, and we're so happy she came to us so that we could get this information out, because it's starting as early as middle school. So we're talking about 7th grade, looking at classes like Algebra 1 in 7th grade. Who would have thought that? So just getting them prepared and mathematically and comprehension wise to understand the education and what would get them on track academically to make sure that they propel forward to the University of Florida, as well as socially. So like being involved and making sure that they understand we don't want you just to be a bookworm, but we want you to also be a leader outside of that classroom.
And you were sharing with me how many different areas of UF, clubs, unions, associations. It's kind of mind-boggling.
Yes, UF is its own little city within a city. So yes, they are. The university, we look at it and we say, we're academic and socially leaders and innovators and thinkers. So when you're talking about academics having those high-ranking university numbers, colleges that are ranked in the top 50, and then our admissions freshman class, their statistics being above
mega.
national averages,
Yes.
and then you have, when they get there, it's like a campus full of leaders. So we take leaders from each and every high school, city, county, state, country, and we're putting them in this one school. And then now you have leaders who are now making up over 1,000 clubs and organizations, and they're being the leaders of these clubs and organizations. So it's really, really cool to see all these leaders and their minds working together in one aspect.
The energy must be enormous.
It is. And one of the beautiful things about Y Lead Symposium is that we also tap into the student population. So the students serve as our peer ambassadors at the conference, and they're running small groups, and they're making sure that the students are safe. But they also get to tell a story. And it's just really organic to watch it happen, and to realize that, yes, this is you're able to share this knowledge with students who sometimes have these misconceptions about what campus life, especially UF campus, might be like, and that they can be there. That's the most important
so
part.
So you allow them to picture themselves, to go beyond maybe their circumstances, and say, yes, if these students have done it, I can do it too.
Yes.
Outstanding. I congratulate you both. And Christina,
it's really been a good partnership. Really
yes,
been a
I
good
can see that.
It's really been a good
and I know it will
partnership.
continue.
Yes.
We're going to take another quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're back talking about Educational Access Institute, and I'm pleased to introduce Angela Terrell, Public Relations Officer, Star Center Children's Theater, and well-known and well-respected educator and volunteer in this community for what, many, many years. You were telling me half a century?
Just about.
Okay.
Yes.
Angie, we welcome you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, certainly. And I want you to explain how Star Center Children's Theater and EAI have and are working together to bring arts into the community focus. But for a moment, tell us about the Star Center, and give us a brief, overview.
Well, Star Center Children's Theater was created about 19 years ago by my good friend Rhonda Wilson. She started out with about 4 families in the back of a store because she saw a need for children to be able to express themselves through the arts, and she had a passion for those arts, and so she started this little theater. Here we are almost 20 years later and have grown to 125 families, and we're all over the place. We're uniquely placed in the community to serve families, schools, and the community, because as you know, public schools have fallen short with the arts education programs
sadly,
because of funding and other issues. But we're there to be a stepping stone and a support system for the arts, and we service children of all ages, of all cultures, of all dynamics, and we're glad about what we do. And we're so happy that we've been able to collaborate with Diane.
It's the perfect partnership.
Yes.
And I've been privileged, Harvey and myself, to attend many performances at the Star Center, the new theater, and it's wonderful what you, Rhonda, and everyone has done. And now you've taken that into EAI.
Yes.
So tell us how that has evolved, Diane.
Wow, it came about because we kind of started thinking about how we could incorporate arts into what we do. Because I do have a strong belief that arts really position our students to become the best of themselves, to become leaders, because of the skills that you get out of participating into any arts activity, whether it's piano or drama. And I started looking around for opportunities to partner with someone, and started doing a little bit of research. Someone mentioned Star Center Children's Theater, and I started going on the website and seeing what they did. And then suddenly I decided, okay, I wanted to do a program that highlighted the artistic talents, the performing arts talents of students that were in our area. And I wanted to call it Leading Through the Arts. And I mentioned it to
Perfect.
a friend of mine. I said, I just want to find the right person to partner with. And they said, Star Center Children's Theater. And I said, wow, that's kind of interesting.
You said, "I'm
because,
there."
Yeah, I'm there because I have been researching this program. So then she said, the person mentioned that they wanted me to meet with Angie. And I said, I know the name. I know the name because our paths had crossed earlier.
Yes.
And this is where we're at. Now
I love it. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. And within that network, the Wide Lead Symposium with the UF Office of Admissions, that you have this whole artistic showcase that's come
Yes.
from the Star Center.
Of course, and what would happen, there would be a workshop throughout the day for youth to express themselves and to exchange ideas and to gain leadership skills, and then they would come back in the evening for a night of performances. And of course, Star Center would bring everything to the table. We had two lovely young African American young men that did a saxophone duo.
Yes.
Oh, love it.
Duet, and we had young children playing the piano, older high school kids doing piano. We had dance.
Singing,
We had a
yes.
few skits, and it was just an evening of great dynamics in the arts.
And then those in the audience, just like you were saying, developing leadership skills, they see others performing, and you just lead by example.
Yes.
Yes. And they go, I could do this too.
I can do this too.
And that means so much. I know we talk about the STEM, the science, technology,
And
but
now
STEAM
we're
is
changing
important.
it to STEAM.
We have
Let's
to have
add the
STEAM
arts.
because we have to have the arts. It enriches our community and all of us. And I know we all agree, but you're taking it out to the community.
Yes. And because I think it's so important. I think sometimes we underestimate the power of the arts.
Of the arts.
And how much that just being part of it kind of says to you, hey, I can do almost anything.
Right. I have the skill.
I've got this. I stood on stage. I did a piano piece, and I think a lot of it came out of my experiences.
Right.
So back I'm from the island of Jamaica, and my mom I was blessed enough to be able to do piano lessons, dance lessons, be involved in plays and stuff like that. And what I realized after, didn't like the whole process of having to stand on a stage and have Sister Mary Joseph say, Diane, stand up and shout. I need to hear every word. I hated it. But boy, am I happy I got to do it.
Difference.
Yes, it has. It has.
And we're going to take another quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're back talking about Educational Access Institute. And Diane, two very strong partners, UF Office of Admissions, Star Center, Children's Theater. But you expand even more into the Caribbean. And explain about that aspect.
So part of what we wanted to do was to be able to go into the Caribbean, because I am from the island of Jamaica, to make some sort of impact. And right now we're not able to do any programmatic efforts there, but we do have the ability to offer financial support to students in the island of Jamaica who might not have the financial resources to go to high school or to sit their pre-university courses. So through the Albert and Elfrida Archer Scholarship Fund, we award scholarships to students who are coming out of low-income areas who might need that extra financial support to achieve their goals.
And as you were sharing with me, it might not be to some that large a scholarship, but to those receiving it, it makes all the difference. It is the key.
It is the key. And also,
the game changer.
And also to realize that, for instance, the value of one American dollar, when converted to Jamaican dollars, like 126, 127.
Right.
And that definitely makes an impact. So for the students that we've been able to fund and offer scholarships, that gives them a whole year of tuition and textbooks and other things that make a difference in their lives during high school and beyond.
Outstanding.
Yes.
And I know you have a gala, Caribbean Legacy Awards Gala.
Yes, we do. And that's where we raise the funds for our scholarships.
Okay.
So, but we didn't just want to have it as just a fundraising event, because we do realize that there are many individuals within the Gainesville community who are from the Caribbean who are doing phenomenal things with youth.
Right.
And we wanted to highlight them. So we have our annual Caribbean Legacy Gala, and we kind of go out and we recruit individuals to, or nominate individuals and award them with really nicely packaged award and say thanks for their efforts in the community, and while raising funds at the same time.
And they become mentors.
That's
They are leaders, but they're
leaders.
showing this can be done.
That this can be done, and that's kind of what we try to do. I mean, I know for me in my life, one of the things I share with a
Right.
lot of my colleagues is that when I'm stepping into schools, or especially schools that are housed in low-income areas where students sometimes tend to think it's not possible,
Right.
I definitely put on my badge Dr. Diane Archer-Banks, and it's not about the PhD or to tell anyone that I have a PhD.
Right.
It's because I want them to see me
That
and
it's
say
possible.
it's possible for me to have, and also to ask me questions. How do you get there? And
Yes.
it definitely has worked.
Right, because you
Yes.
are giving them the power to do so
That's
for themselves.
That's exactly right.
And what has inspired you as Dr. Diane Archer-Banks, going back to your early years? What has given you the opportunity?
I think my parents, my mom and my dad had this giving spirit, and they fostered that in each and every one of us. I remember my dad had us, we all had our chores, and Dad would pay us 2 and 6, which I think everyone's like wondering what's 2 and 6. It's like
Right,
25 cents, right?
Right.
And so we would save that, and there was this one particular Christmas where I really wanted to shop for my next door neighbors who were my friends, and he said no. He said, you couldn't do it. You had to. He said, there is Miss Mammy, there's Miss Catherine, and their kids might not have Christmas gifts, so you're going to purchase something for them. And I was angry.
You said, what?
I was really angry. I'm like, this is not even, but I couldn't tell Dad I was angry. I just had to do what Dad said. But I'm happy it happened, because I think watching that happen, watching my mom every Christmas do a lot of Jamaican fruit cakes and give out to her friends and the individuals at the hospital where she worked who helped her along the way, it kind of help us, each and every one of us, my brother, myself, and my brothers and myself, to realize there's more to us getting,
Yes.
but giving is such a powerful thing, and I think that's what inspires me.
Well, you, Diane, are definitely giving through Educational
you.
Access
I appreciate
Institute. And I know all the students that have been part of the symposium have been a part of what you've created, and those to come are inspired by you, and we are too.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been a privilege, and I really want to encourage parents who might be out there looking for opportunities for their kids
Yes.
to develop leadership skills, to kind of get in touch with us. Visit our website at www.educationalaccess.net and check out our Y-Lead program, because what it will give the students, their kids, is an opportunity to interact with other leaders in the community and to learn some really valuable skills.
Right.
And we're getting ready to do some serious recruitment for this year's program. So I'm looking
this is a
forward.
good time for everyone to get on
yes,
board.
definitely for them to get on board. And if you're not able to do so, just go ahead and support any of our efforts. We do have our Caribbean Legacy Gala.
Right.
That's coming up, and we're always looking for sponsors.
And volunteers.
And volunteers. So if there's anywhere, we're looking for individuals who would like to become part of our board. If that's something that you feel like you want to become part of, please
The
reach out to
opportunity.
me. I'll definitely get back with you. We can discuss how best that could happen.
Oh, you provide so much opportunity.
Thank you.
Many thanks.
Thank
We
you so much.
appreciate you.
I appreciate that too.
And I'm glad you tuned in, and I hope you'll join us next week. Take care.